missionaries.
Mm-hmm.
The kids that were average, well, we found the very best school in their neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and we put them there. And, you know, there were kids that came from those neighborhood schools and finished university, and
Mm-hmm.
kids that went to Naya and didn't,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But we tried to tell them from the time they were tiny, you're going as far as you can go.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find somebody that'll put you there. And we did. Or, you know, Lisa and I have, we didn't have kids. So the money that would have gone to raising kids went to raising kids in Uganda.
Yeah, and many more kids, 300
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah. So, you know, I paid for those airplane tickets out of savings, um, and we paid for a lot of kids to go to school. That was that's the greatest blessing of our lives.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Wow. It's quite very amazing. And any impactful mission comes with hurdles. And I believe that as you did whatever you did, there are hurdles that you faced, both as an individual or as the organization. So, what are those challenges you faced running this project of taking care of children in Uganda?
Man, I had all kinds of other stories I was going to tell you. I wasn't going to just tell you about a Choli. I had a bunch of them laid out here. If we have time, maybe we'll come back and talk about some of them. You know,
Yeah.
some very emotional ones, but um, we had some hurdles. We did early on. We we had a really hard time finding honest people. Um, the Mubiru's. Let's just say we had a misunderstanding about finance
Yeah.
and just leave it at that. Um, really hurt us. Um, the project was up to nearly 100 kids. Um, we ended up in a situation where their church split, and we had to find new people to run the project.
Yeah.
Um, I was reluctant to do this, but I'm going to. We had a pastor who is still a pastor there in Uganda. His name is
Yeah.
Joseph Kasaga, his brother Vincent. And we put them in charge of the project. We felt like pastor and pastor's brother, that would be great. They were very friendly, very open, very good with the kids. We thought things were going great. One day we had sent the money to pay for a term for all the kids. Um, we're talking nearly 90 million shillings.
Mm-hmm. That's about 30,000 US dollars.
Yep. They walked into the bank. They used their IDs to take out every shilling They put it in their pockets and they walked away.
Sorry.
They stole every single penny. And I used to call them about once a year, call both of them. And I would say, you're thieves and I want my money back. It's not my money, it's God's money. You have stolen from these children and you owe them the money back.
Yeah.
One of them would laugh at me. Every time he would laugh at me. Say, we got ours. We took ours. I was in a situation where I had all these children depending on us to go to school that term. And I was $30,000 short. I started going back around to the churches that were helping me.
Mhm.
And I begged. I flew, I drove, I went to all these churches all over the place. And I just begged.
Yeah.
I said, we can't let these kids miss because these guys stole money. And I'll do everything I can to recover that money. Well, one of the churches said, we'll help you, but there will never be another penny come from our church
Yeah.
unless you are in Uganda to accept the money and oversee the payment at the school. Well, at that time, I was dean of this college. And I mean, that's not a 40-hour week. I I worked so many hours. I had to teach from 3 to 5 classes,
Mhm.
as well as supervise 100 teachers. I was responsible for about 3,000 students. I mean, it was a big old job.
Mhm.
And it was already to the point, Lisa and I we had to come up with all these policies. We had to come up with how we were going to do this from scratch. It
Yeah.
was because this was always Lisa and me. It wasn't a team of 100 people doing it. It was us. We had a board that was incredibly helpful. We had people that did things like pick up checks and take them from here to there. But when it came down to calling sponsors and taking those phone calls from angry sponsors about this and that,
Mhm.
trying to find these sponsors, we were doing it. We were doing it part-time because we worked full-time. Lisa's a teacher,
Yeah.
taught primary two. All at once, they're saying the project's over unless you're there 3 times a year.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to do. And I had a problem. All at once, I was having trouble walking, and I started having swallow. I couldn't swallow properly. I would get choked. I started having some vision problems and a tremendous amount of pain. Um, I I started falling. I fell and broke my arm. Um, I would fall when I was trying to teach,
Yeah.
and I started missing meetings because I was
Yeah.
asleep. I couldn't make it through the day.
Yeah.
Well, I was at home one afternoon and I fell and I seriously injured both ankles. I couldn't walk at all.